Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Good Saturday morning to you. I'm Mike Gross alongside Mike Bauer, Jackson Groff. We are at the CAZ Sports Bar Casino, Arizona. Loop 101 in McKellips. Take you up to 1 o'clock today. Come on out and see us. Say hello. Love to check in with you. How you doing, man? You just had a breakfast, Sammy. How you feeling?
Oh, my gosh. I haven't had it in a month. We should almost be powered by the CAZ Sports Bar, the new Sportsbook, and the Breakfast Sammy, because we've been promoting it so much. I'm surprised we haven't gotten a call about us in the breakfast sandwich.
I think they could give us a cut of the action, right?
I know, right?
Just off of what you and I eat. It'd be
take
good.
the points, Breakfast Sammy. That sounds like a clean beverage or a clean food that they could have for us.
Absolutely. Hey, we are at the Sportsbook here at Casino, Arizona, and it's kind of the calm before the storm, Jackson. We were talking about it before we came on air. It's going to be a crazy week here in the Valley of the Sun. Not only do you have the WM Open getting started on Monday up there at the TPC in Scottsdale, it's Super Bowl week.
Big game week.
Well, for the purposes of this conversation, it's Super Bowl week. The Super Bowl is in Arizona once again. And a crazy week coming with visitors and media, and the teams will get here. Such a cool time to be in the state of Arizona, and the weather looks like it's going to be absolutely amazing. So the Chamber of Commerce people are happy about that. And like I said, it's going to be crazy. And I know you're going to be in the thick of it throughout the course of the week as you work with Rocka Minuch and Jimmy B. As they're going to be at Radio Row this week. So great guests coming on the show all week long. But just the vibe, the atmosphere around town is so cool. And like I said, I think it helps because it's been kind of cold and rainy here, which is good. We need the rain. But when you got the visitors coming out of town, let's roll out the red carpet. And I think the weather is cooperating. So I think it's going to be a great week. I'm looking forward to it.
100%. It's starting to be in the 70s around in the valley. You can tell, like you said, the calm before the storm. The freeways are kind of quiet right now. Not as quiet as they're going to be next week. They're going to be really busy. But when you talk about the Super Bowl, when you talk about the Phoenix Open, the Phoenix Open's got one of the best lineups I've seen in the last couple of years. You got Rory McIlroy, you got Max Homa, Zalatoris, Justin Thomas, John Rahm. I can go on and on and on. Scotty Scheffler, the reigning champ from last year. And then the Super Bowl, you got the two best teams in the NFL, the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Kelsey Bowl, as they say. There's a lot of storylines. I'm excited to talk Super Bowl as we preview coming next week. The Pro Bowl is tomorrow. We won't talk Pro Bowl, obviously, because, you know, who's going to watch that?
No, I'm with you on that.
But, yeah, college basketball is on. NBA is on. It's kind of the era, the time of the month where people are kind of fading away from football. Not really, but when there's basketball on all the time, you got to get ready for that March Madness bracket that's coming up here shortly.
So we're going to get into all of that today on the show, as we usually do. We've got guests coming up. We're going to talk with Chris Cartman from ASU, Sun Devil Source, and get into everything that's going on with Bobby Hurley and the Sun Devils as they are in must-win mode. They have no margin for error anymore as they kind of played themselves into this with a losing streak that, you know, frankly was, you know, there's no shame losing to UCLA. And I would also say probably, and ASU fans don't want to hear this, but I'm just talking as it relates to the NCAA tournament. It's okay to lose to Arizona. But some of the other losses that they stacked up there when they went up to Washington, that's not a good look, right? And so they've got themselves in a position of must-win. You look at Joe Lenardi, who does it for ESPN. You look at Jerry Palm, who's a great resource when it comes to the tournament. He does CBSSports.com. They both have ASU on the outside looking in as it stands right now. That's after the win Thursday night over Oregon State.
100%. They were off to a hot start too, and they lost 4 straight. And you know what's gross about losing 4 games is they were all 4 conference games, which hurts them even more. Right now, they're currently ranked 5th in the Pac-12, and I believe, if I'm correct, they would play Utah, I believe, round 1, and they would play the 1 seed second. They'd play UCLA, which would not be a great game the second round, especially in a neutral site game. But this ASU team is in dire mode to win. Yeah, they got some tough games. They got Oregon today. Oregon after a tough loss against Arizona. We'll see how they respond. And then later on, like you said, you got UCLA, Arizona, and USC to wrap up the schedule. 3 games that you've already lost earlier in the season.
You do not want to go into that last week or last 3 games, let's call it, of the season if you're the Devils, needing to a win. You don't want somebody like Jerry Palm to say, you got to beat Arizona on the road. You've got to beat UCLA on the road, even beat USC on the road. That's a tough order. And I hate to say it, ASU's put themselves in this position because a couple weeks ago, they were firmly in the tournament when they were doing these brackets. And I know they're only bracket and bracketologists and projections, but the thing about Joe Lenardi and Jerry Palm is they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're
pretty accurate in terms of how they look at these things. So we'll get into it a little bit. You mentioned it. You've got tonight, 8 o'clock in Tempe, Oregon and Arizona State. That line, it's a pick'em game right now on ASU's home court. Earlier, 7:30, so they're going to overlap with each other for most of the evening. Arizona's a 20-point favorite over Oregon State. And I told you and Bauer this a while ago. When I look at this Arizona team, the biggest threat to Arizona
is Arizona.
Yep. You look at their losses this year, you got nobody to blame but yourself. And you could see it the other night in Tucson, and I know McHale is a tough place to play. Oregon's had some success there. Dana Altman's had some success over Arizona there. Arizona was having none of it because they were probably still ticked off about the loss in Eugene a couple weeks ago. So Arizona was focused. Arizona played well. Arizona came away with a big win, right? So Arizona is Arizona's biggest enemy at this point down the stretch. They look bored. I'm gonna say they look bored sometimes.
And it seems like that every single year, the past couple of years, is Arizona teams always ranked high, always favored in the Pac-12, always favored to make a deep run in the tournament. And they just kick themselves in the foot every single time. So we'll see what this Arizona team can do down the stretch, especially with some big Pac-12 games coming up.
Well, and when you get into the tournament, and matchups matter, right? And last year, the matchup against Houston was awful. It was a terrible matchup for the Wildcats. Houston just manhandled them. I remember that game. It was like I felt bad. I was sore watching that game, the way the Cougars beat up the Wildcat. That sounds like something like a little kid would say. What would win a fight, a cougar or a wildcat? Well,
the cat family.
In that case, the Cougars won that fight. Also tonight, up in your neck of the woods, Northern Arizona and Montana.
Oh,
the Grizz are a 7-point favorite. Tip-off up in the great state of Montana just after 7 o'clock.
Let's go.
As both those teams headed towards the Big Sky tournament. Is the Big Sky tournament in Vegas as well?
It's actually in Boise, Idaho.
Boise, Idaho.
Yeah, Boise, Idaho. Montana, NAU, kind of in the same perspective. Montana beat NAU when they played NAU here. Both teams are kind of having an average season. This is a big game for both squads for seeding and later on. And then briefly, I want to talk about some of the other big games here, Gross, because there's a lot of ranked games. We got 25 Auburn at 2 Tennessee. That tips off at 12. We got 10 Texas at 7 Kansas State, who just came off of a tough loss against Kansas. That'll tip off at 2. And then rounding off the night, I know you're a big fan of the WCC. We got 12 Gonzaga at 18 St. Mary's. And Gonzaga is a 3.5-point underdog, which is kind of shocking.
I don't think if you're looking across the bracket when these things are released in a couple of weeks, you don't want any part of either one of those teams. We know about Gonzaga. Everybody knows the Gonzaga story. St. Mary's is just like them, and the WCC, the West Coast Conference, is going to get 2 teams this year. They will both be in the tournament, barring some very bizarre circumstances, and you don't want any part of them because St. Mary's has been very, very good, just not on that level of Gonzaga recently, but it looks like they've closed the gap considerably. Also tonight in Detroit,
we got some NBA. The Suns, coming off of a big win last night against the Celtics, will take their talents to the Pistons. They're a 4.5-point underdog. The Pistons, 14-39 of the season. They're 7-19 at home, but the Suns are 9-17 on the road. We saw last night, Saban Lee looked impressive. Chris Paul looked impressive. Mikal Bridges, 25 points. We'll talk more about that game and what the Suns need to do tonight to beat the Pistons.
Yeah, and that's the thing with this Suns team. You're like, oh my goodness, look at this huge win last night over the Boston Celtics. And in the back of your mind, because of the way this year has gone with this team, you're like, don't lose to Detroit now. Because if you lose to Detroit, all you did is wipe away all the good that you got out of that win last night. But the other thing that you look at if you're following the Suns and their chase to the postseason is how tight the Western Conference is. You win a game and you go from maybe in the play-in game all the way up to 5th or 6th, And if you lose a game that you shouldn't lose, boom, you're right back in that same spot. And I said this, I can't remember if it was on this show or when I was talking to Birch and Barry on the podcast we do. If I'm a Suns fan, I want no part of the play-in game or the play-in series, whatever you want to call it. You want to be in, even if you don't, if you're in that 5-6 range, you just don't want those extra games on a guy like Chris Paul. Yep. You don't need it. And whatever they got to do, the trade deadline coming up, ownership change coming up, figure it out so you can land outside of that play-in opportunity. Hey, 1 week from tomorrow, mark your calendars. The big game is in town, and your chance, if you don't have a ticket, to come out and watch it at the CAZ or with the CAZ crew here and the showroom at Casino Arizona. Doors open at 3 o'clock. Bauer, myself, Jackson, we're all going to be there. We're going to have great opportunities to win cash. You've got the squares, propositions, and, of course, the ever-popular kickoff jackpot. And they've got great food and drink specials as well. Check out the website, CasinoArizona.com. We've got it up on Twitter, but we would love to see you out here at Casino Arizona. Doors open at 3 o'clock, and here's the kicker. Admission is free. The only thing you got to do is join the Players Reward Club for your chance to win some of those cash prizes we were talking about. But other than that, we'll be there, and we're going to one of us, I think Bauer.
Yeah,
one of us is going to try the Southwest Juicy Lucy. Ooh. That's the food special that they've created. It looks amazing. And that's what they've created for the big game here at Casino Arizona. So come on out, see us, enjoy the game, try the Southwest Juicy Lucy, and hang out with us for the big game here at Casino Arizona. Coming up in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to talk to Chris Cartman. As I said, huge weekend of basketball for the Devils. We're going to talk to him about the Devils' fortunes headed to March Madness. That's coming up in about 10 minutes. But more coming up next right here on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. 6-time Pro Bowl quarterback Donovan McNabb joins Jody Ayler every week on The Drive to talk the biggest stories from the NFL. Tuesday at 8:33 on Fox Sports 910. Brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL.
Join Fox Sports 910's Rock and Minuch with Jimmy B as they host the big game viewing party with special guests Bo Jackson and Doug Flutie. Watch the big game on the many large TV screens. Take advantage of the food and drink specials. Win cash with their quarter squares and prop games. Plus, be part of the kickoff progressive jackpot starting at $4,000. Tickets are $25 in advance and $35 at the door. Buy your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss being a part of the big game viewing party at Talking Stick Resort.
It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, cobbling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
Shopping for a mortgage? Big banks can be a big hassle. Call GC Global Capital and work with a local team of mortgage experts for great rates and lower fees, more options, and faster closings. Don't let your dream home purchase turn into a nightmare. Call the professionals at GC Global Capital, 480-397-9300. GC Global Capital, your local mortgage professionals.
GC Global Capital is an Arizona licensed mortgage broker. NMLS 1091187, license MB 0924983, and equal opportunity lender.
Wright Toyota, the #1 volume Toyota dealer in the state of Arizona, ensures you a buying experience that will exceed all your expectations. Check it out for yourself.
Meg, nice to see you.
Hey, Meg.
Arena Sports Grill. Come on out for the sports, off-track betting, incredible food, and friendly faces. The best daily specials in Scottsdale. Arena Sports Grill, 62nd Street in Bell. We know you.
Tune in weekdays 1 to 4 with Rockin' Minoosh with Jimmy B for your chance to call in and give your prediction for the big game. Guess the score right and win the Talking Stick Resort Getaway Weekend valued at over $1,500.
That's weekdays 1 to 4.
Right here on Fox Sports 910.
Where will your new Chevy take you this year? Anywhere. It's the perfect time of year to take your next adventure off-road in a powerful Chevy Silverado. Round up the whole gang for some family fun in a Chevy Equinox. Hey kids, let's go. Or take your night on the town by storm in a stylish Chevy Blazer. Make more memories and take on the road ahead, wherever it leads you. Find new experiences, find new roads. See your Valley Chevy dealers.
Before new Cascade Platinum Plus, I would pre-rinse all my dishes because my old detergent just wouldn't get them clean. But now, I do dishes differently. And no pre-wash, no rewash, money-back guaranteed kind of different. Because Cascade Platinum Plus has double the grease fighting power of Dawn built right in, with twice the scrubbing power, giving me a clean that lets me break all the dish rules. I just scrape, load, and I'm done. Yep. So clean. With Cascade Platinum Plus, I dare to dish differently.
Attention seniors on Medicare. One Medical Seniors is a doctor's office designed around you and your needs. With convenient locations, on-site labs, and care coordination with specialists, our entire team works together to provide you with the best care possible. Come meet us at one of our no-cost events, like a Medicare 101 or a holiday party, and bring a friend. It's your time. It's your health. One Medical Seniors, building strong relationships with our patients and our community. Learn more at omsphoenix.com. That's omsphoenix.com.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Welcome back. Mike Bauer, Mike Gross, Jackson Groff taking up to 1 o'clock today. Coming up in our next segment, Chris Cartman talking Sun Devil Hoops with us. Look forward to catching up and hearing about that. Also, shout out to our national champion, Ryan Cirk, back in studio, as always on a Saturday. Good to have him aboard as well. But the big game coming up a week from tomorrow, Jackson, we talked about it. We're going to be hanging out here at Casino, Arizona in the big showroom. We'd love to see you out here with us. But this is it, is what we've been waiting for. And you talked about it in the open where you said both number one seeds. I mean, there's all kinds of stories. You got both number one seeds. You got the Kelsey brothers. You got, for the first time ever in Super Bowl history, you've got two black quarterbacks starting the game. I remember, since I'm much, much older than anybody else on this broadcast, Doug Williams back in the day when he was the quarterback for the Washington Redskins.
Stud.
That was 1988, I believe. And the storyline there was Doug, he was the first black quarterback to start and win a Super Bowl. I mean, they destroyed the Broncos. I think it was like 42-10 that day. And, he was asked about that, and he's like, hopefully someday it won't be a story, right? I want to be known as the guy that won the Super Bowl. I'm the quarterback that won the Super Bowl. But here we are in 2022. It's still a story. But so many subplots, but you look at what does Las Vegas think about this, right? This is where we get dialed in. And you can tell based on the numbers, it's going to be, everybody feels like it's going to be a good game, a close game. The sheet here at Casino, Arizona from the Sportsbook we picked up first thing this morning has the Eagles as a 1.5 favorite with the total at 50.5.
That seems a little
gets
high.
much closer to that. Does it though?
I feel like the Super Bowl is either going to go two ways. It's going to be kind of nerves, settle in early, and there's late scoring, or there's going to be a ton of scoring. That could be like every other game too. But this Eagles team, they haven't been there before. Chiefs obviously have the advantage, but they got a lot of new pieces. I think something that you mentioned, the two African-American quarterbacks facing off for the first time. I think this might be the first time that both quarterbacks are banged up heading into the Super Bowl. Obviously a much-needed 2-week break. Jalen Hurts and his shoulder hasn't been using his shoulder much recently. They haven't really needed to with the running game with Boston Scott, with Miles Sanders, with Kenneth Gainwell, I believe, is the third running back. And then you got the other side, Mahomes. Can Mahomes get healthy in time? But more importantly, can his weapons, McCole Hardman, Juju Smith-Schuster was banged up. They They had two more. They had Sky Moore, who was banged up, and they had someone else who was banged. I can't.
Well, Travis Kelce's back was an issue going into that game, and the thing that's interesting as we watch this, the team chiropractor for the Chiefs getting airtime and publicity based on the fact that Travis Kelce comes in and didn't skip a beat and apparently could barely walk. Tweaked his back, and you played football, you know about that. You turn the wrong way or you land the wrong way, and it throws your whole alignment off. And apparently they were very seriously concerned leading up to that game about first his availability and then how effective he would be. And he looked like Travis Kelce.
They've got the special shot over there at Kansas City. It was Kadarius Toney is the other wide receiver I was talking about. But when you talk about Mahomes against the Jaguars, barely could put any weight on it.
Yep.
Gets that needle or whatever they put in his system at halftime, and he looked amazing. They did the same thing with Travis Kelce. So 2 weeks there, I expect Travis Kelce to be fine, Mahomes to be fine. It's the Super Bowl. You got all offseason to heal
and he got
up.
2 weeks off.
Exactly.
There was a perfect timing for both quarterbacks, for all the guys that are banged up, and it's a long season, right? And you go through the postseason. Now, fortunately for these two teams, they both got the first round buys. So I mean, they're getting as many breaks as they can leading into this. The one guy that I was so impressed watching Kansas City, and you hear his name, but when you have it as the game, right, the focus game that you're watching, what's his name?
Isaiah
Pacheco.
Oh, he's good.
And I heard somebody saying
he is good.
I heard somebody saying they were playing a clip from when he played at Rutgers, and they were saying every time he touches the ball, he's running like it's his last time. Like he is playing all out 100% of the time, and you can see that. Like I think one of his touchdowns was called back early, but it was an amazing run. It didn't count, but it was an amazing run, an amazing effort by this guy. And I don't recall him at Rutgers at all. And hey, look, it's not exactly a football powerhouse, but and I guess that's why Kansas City's such a great organization. Great organizations find guys like Isaiah Pacheco and plug them into the system, and then they make contributions in games like that. That's why the Chiefs are where they are, and that's why 5 other teams have openings that they're trying to fill because their years were so bad. But
7th round pick took place over Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who was their first-round pick just a year or two ago, which tells you that the Chiefs, doesn't matter if you're the first round, second round, or you're a top free agent, we're going to play the best guy that is possible on the field. He only had 10 carries for 26 yards against the Bengals, but the week before, 95 yards. He didn't have a touchdown, but he is a tough runner. Whenever you're in 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, you just feel that his drive, his burst through the holes is something that sets him apart. And the reason why is because his late siblings, actually, I saw this on TikTok the other day, his late siblings passed away just a couple years ago, and ever since then he runs hard for them. So that's that extra motivation for Isaiah Pacheco. Just one of many stories. But you mentioned Gross. This is a kid that they drafted. All of the Eagles starters besides A.J. Brown on the offensive side were all people that they drafted and developed for the Eagles. So these are two franchises that have great organizations that know how to draft and rebuild and build up and develop those players. I'm excited. This is going to be a hell of a matchup. I don't know who's going to win. I have yet to make my selection, you as well. But when we look at some of these other props too, first touchdown scorer, Travis Kelce, plus 650. That seems like a knock right there.
You look at who's Patrick Mahomes' favorite?
Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Like if you made me pick, like that's going to be it. I can't argue with that. Hey, we'll jump into some of those props a little bit later on in the show. There's a lot of them. Marco D'Angelo will join us in his usual shot, Jackson, at 12:30. And we're if you listen every week, Marco picks games for us, but there's no football game. So what we're going to do is we're going to get his early thoughts on this matchup. And then also he tweeted out some stuff at Marco in Vegas on props. So we'll pick his brain on some of the props and what he's looking at and what he finds to be interesting. And he will tell us, because he always does, boy, you're lucky to be living in Arizona because you got a lot more options when it comes to that kind of stuff. So we'll pick Marco's brains on that coming at 12:30. But college hoops, front and center. Chris Cartman from Sun Devil Source joins us next as we get into ASU. They're in must-win territory right now as every game counts for the Devils. That's coming up next right here on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Rock for WhiteToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them.
Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on righttoyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at righttoyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at righttoyota.com.
It's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. We love providing great food for family gatherings, parties, even work meetings. And we make it simple.
We sure do, no matter what the occasion. At Venezia's, we make catering easy. You can see our entire catering menu online at venezias.com. Or let us know how we can help at one of our 6 locations, including the newest, now open in Chandler.
We'd love to bring Venezia's to your next party. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition.
Are you looking to get into the best shape of your life or looking to offer your son or daughter the best training in Arizona? Then listen up. Dan Minucci for the new Cocoa 5 Performance Center at Bell Bank Park in Mesa. The state-of-the-art Performance Center is a 25,000 square foot facility and is home to sports performance for teams, individuals, combine prep, and professional athletes. And now, the new home where I coach my quarterback. 80 yards of indoor turf and track along with an outside turf workout area, plus tons of squat and bench stations, along with world-class training equipment. And they have the best team of coaches in the Southwest led by Olympic gold medal winner Dan O'Brien. If you or your son or daughter are ready to take the next step by gaining more speed, agility, power, and flexibility, then you need to check out the Cocoa 5 Performance Center at Bell Bank Park. Sign up by calling 480-572-0647, and one of their team members will create an individualized program specific to your needs. That's 480-572-0647 or online at legacyperformanceaz.com. For limited time, if you mention me, Dan Minucci, they'll give you your first session on me. That's legacyperformanceaz.com.
Get ready for the nothing but net action of college basketball on AZTV Channel 7. Every Monday and Saturday, we take you courtside for both men's and women's college hoops. AZTV Channel 7. Check out the schedule at aztv.com.
Attention grillers. Is it time to replace that old grill in your backyard? Need to step up your game? Your chance to win a new one is right now. Just text PEAKS to 55678. That's PEAKS 55678. And you will be entered to win a customized backyard grill patio set, courtesy of Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light. You can enter once a day. Standard message and data rates apply. That's PEAKS to 55678.
Bo knows where to watch the big game. Talking Stick Resort. Join Fox Sports 910's Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B as they host the big game viewing party with special guests Bo Jackson and Doug Flutie. Get your tickets now, just $25 at Ticketmaster.com. It's the big game viewing party at Talking Stick Resort.
Where will your new Chevy take you this year? Anywhere. It's the perfect time of year to take your next adventure off-road in a powerful Chevy Silverado. Round up the whole gang for some family fun in a Chevy Equinox. Hey kids, let's go. Or take your night on the town by storm in a stylish Chevy Blazer. Make more memories and take on the road ahead, wherever it leads you. Find new experiences, find new roads. See your Valley Chevy dealers.
In a world full of rewards programs, there's never been one quite as fantastic as MGM Rewards. As an MGM Rewards member, dine, stay, play, and earn on what you love. Have the meal of a lifetime. Cheer on your favorite team. See a show that blows your mind. Stay in a baller suite. Shop till you drop. Make the spa your second home. Or just find a nice loud corner for some bottle service. With MGM Rewards, unlock the best of Las Vegas. Visit MGMRewards.com for more details. Subject to earning and redemption limitations applicable to certain purchases and in certain states.
Attention seniors on Medicare. One Medical Seniors is a doctor's office designed around you and your needs. With convenient locations, on-site labs, and care coordination with specialists, our entire team works together to provide you with the best care possible. Come meet us at one of our no-cost events, like a Medicare 101 or a holiday party, and bring a friend. It's your time. It's your health. One Medical Seniors, building strong relationships with our patients and our community. Learn more at omsphoenix.com. That's omsphoenix.com.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Welcome back. Mike Bauer, Mike Gross, Jackson Groff here at the CAZ Sports Bar, Casino, Arizona. Hanging out with you till 1 o'clock. College basketball all over the place here at the CAZ Sports Bar. Michigan State and Rutgers in it. But we've talked more Rutgers already today than we have in the history of this show, just by mentioning Rutgers basketball. That's
for good reason. Yeah,
but as promised, we head out to the phone lines, and it's time to talk Devils, as they are in must-win time for the March Madness, which is quickly approaching. And to help us do that, friend of the program, regular contributor from SunDevilSource.com, it's Chris Cartman. Chris, Mike Gross, Mike Bauer, Jackson Groff, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Glad to be with you guys.
Well, we appreciate it, and you've had a uber busy week, and we're going to cover as much territory with you as we can here. But as great as some of the football stories have been this week, and we'll try to get to that, we got to talk hoops, man. Win for the Devils the other night, and I hate to say it, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but the Devils kind of put themselves in must-win situations right now. Oregon State the other night, big game tonight against Oregon, and they've got to win and keep winning if they're going to make it to the tournament this year.
I totally agree with that. They're probably going to have to win at least 5 of their next 6 games, maybe even all 6. The good news is it's the easiest stretch that they have in conference play, including the Oregon State game that they obviously just won. They're right now, and I saw a bracket matrix there in the tournament, and fewer than 20 of the 90 brackets, and most people see them as being just outside the bubble, sitting at 62 in the net, 65 in Ken Palm. So they can't afford to lose any of these games that are even really toss-up games at this point. And that's an unfortunate situation given their really strong start. 6-1 in the conference, really the best since 1981. But before they basically let UCLA beat them 4 times because they fell apart against USC and then on the Washington trip.
Anytime we're talking about will teams make the tournament, won't they? You always look at signature wins and the kind of out of the norm losses. When you look at the Sun Devils, and this is the big term, when you look at their resume, what jumps out at you? What jumps out at likely the committee when they're taking a look at the Sun Devils so far this season?
Yeah, I think when you lose to bad teams, it has an outsized impact on the algorithm that evaluates these teams. So the Texas Southern loss that ASU had, which really was the only bad loss from an algorithm standpoint. Put aside losing by 40-something points or whatever it was on the road to San Francisco, because that's considered to be a quality loss, despite the margin being kind of absurd. Really, the Texas Southern loss is probably worth 8 to 10 spots alone.
Wow.
And you could argue about that, but that's just the reality. I think also they look a little bit too much at margin of victory in some of these things. So there have been games where ASU, like UCLA, was a very close game, and then the last 2 minutes, UCLA went on this run and ended up being a double figures loss. That changes the way that game is perceived by a computer that isn't looking at it from a human perspective. And so ASU probably would be a few spots better alone just because of that. And I'm also a believer that you have to look at the overall trajectory of a team. And so, games in November, December mean too much probably compared to what happens in like February or the first week or 2 of March, in my opinion. And then it's hard in conferences that are, by the time conference play starts, they're the 5th best conference, and then everybody beats each other up. How you actually overcome that to get a bunch of your teams in the tournament, which is sort of the reality of the Pac-12 this year, which at most will probably get 4 teams into the tournament, compared to like the Big 12, which will get 8 or 9, and the Big 10 will probably get 7 or 8.
Chris Cartman from Some Devil Source talking Devils with us, starting hoops. We'll get into some football here in just a minute, but and you kind of touched on where I wanted to go with that. I look at ASU and say, if this team was sitting in the Big 10 or sitting in the Big 12, we wouldn't even be having this conversation with the record that they have. And, you look, if you're not named Arizona or UCLA right now, I would even say USC is in kind of a similar boat with the margin for error because of the way the Pac-12 is viewed. Chris is really hindering these teams down the stretch.
I agree with that, and we've seen pretty clearly that in recent years that's also been the case. And then the Pac-12 did really good in the NCAA tournament, like notwithstanding the way they were perceived nationally. So ASU is such a good defensive team. They're actually, I think, third or fourth in the country right now in 2-point field goal percentage defense. That I look at it, if you took the same team and you put them in the SEC, the Big Ten, physical conferences, I think that they would still probably do just as well, maybe even better, because the Pac-12 is kind of soft, and the officials they just love blowing the whistle so much, it seems, that it interrupts a lot of things about the way that the game is played. The ASU is limited offensively. We know that. Like they not a good shooting team from the perimeter. Even sometimes when they get the ball inside, like they should be trying to do, they miss shots. They have the ability to go on long stretches where they're not getting the ball in the basket. But they've also tended to be super competitive in the games that they've lost as a result of being able to keep opponents close to them. And I think that's going to continue to be the case the rest of the season. They have a very good record in their 2-possession games, whatever it is now, 7-2 or something like that. And that's going to have to continue to be the case. They have to win the close games because they're going to probably be in a lot of them over the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Chris Cartman joins us on the show. And Chris, I want to shift gears from the hardware to the gridiron. National Signing Day was on Wednesday, and a commitment and a signing that took the whole college football world by storm was quarterback Jaden Rashada, 4-star out of California. Obviously, with all the drama going on with Florida and Miami in his past, ASU was one of the teams that he was targeting. Obviously, his father played at ASU too. What do you know behind the scenes about what all came to be about the Rashada signing? And how do you see Jaden Rashada kind of making his impact in the quarterback room this upcoming fall?
Well, there was a romantic element to ASU and Jaden Rashada and their whole family going back several years. He wrote a story about him after ASU offered a scholarship in the summer of 2020. Really the beginning of the pandemic. They think about how long ago that was, or feels anyways. And then things went really south because of the NCAA investigation and just the Herm Edwards era kind of falling apart over about a 1.5-year period where ASU wasn't involved in the recruitment. Of course, he was committed to Miami, then he signed with Florida. The situation fell apart due to a disagreement over some NIL opportunity there that was reportedly worth many millions of dollars. And then ultimately he came down to where do I want to be at? Like, where am I going to enjoy living? And the coaching staff that I think can help me in a place that has this sort of an emotional appeal. And the fact that Dillingham was at ASU after he had previously been at Oregon and Florida State, where they had a lot of familiarity with the Rashada family, that checked a lot of boxes, as well as their scheme and what they think that they're going to be able to do from an offensive potency standpoint and a fit. And so there was no NIL agreement or situation that happened with the Sun Angel Collective or anybody else with ASU, and that wasn't even what they were searching for. They were just trying to find the best place for him to play college football. And remember, people kind of forget that that decision alone can be worth tens of millions of dollars in draft positioning for such a highly regarded quarterback as Rashada is, number 6 in the country overall, quarterback top 50 recruit overall. If that pans out the way that a lot of people expect, he's a first or second round NFL pick. And so you have to make sure that you go to the place where you have the best opportunity to maximize that.
Chris, as we're talking football, this has got to be music to the ears of many alums, many, football alums, but just Sun Devil alums, football fans. Kenny Dillingham says they're going back to Camp T this year.
They are, yeah. I've heard they're probably going to spend 3 or 4 days up there. It's expensive. A lot of the facilities are still outdated, even though they have a newer field that makes it a little bit easier on the players' bodies and mitigates injury risk. It's still going to cost them $500,000, maybe $1 million. You got to bring all kinds of RVs and equipment and gear, and it's a monumental undertaking. But it's also, to a lot of people who have just followed ASU football for decades, it's one of the best things that exists with the program, and it's something that has an emotional feel and a bonding opportunity that really just can't be replaced. And Kenny Dillingham understands that better than all the former coaches that ASU's had since, probably Frank Kush, frankly. Grew up here, ASU graduate, first ever ASU graduate to coach the team. He was a graduate assistant under Todd Graham, when a guy who kind of really liked the benefits of ton of zone, especially early on in his tenure. And so they're going to try to make the most of that. And I think especially in your first year and you have a half new roster for the first time ever, there's probably extra value in what you're trying to do from a cultural standpoint.
Chris Cartman does a great job covering the Devils, and always good with his time coming on our show. Check out the website, sundevilsource.com. Chris, good stuff. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime. My pleasure.
Chris Cartman, bringing it. I love it.
Well, it's about time.
You know what else is going to happen?
I wasn't saying it's about time for him. I was about to say for the Devils. I didn't want anybody to get that wrong.
Camp Tonazona, you know what's going to happen? It's going to rain.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Whatever days they're going there, it will rain because that's what it does.
They got to run up Mount Cush, and then they're going to play some football in a puddle, and they have made significant improvements to the field right there alongside the creek, over the years. And but I mean, it is an undertaking. I mean, Jackson, this, playing for Montana, you're loading up trucks of gear just to go play a football game. Now, if you've got to bring up sleds and all that stuff for guys to practice for a few days, it's a monumental capital undertaking. It's not just, hey, let's go up and stay at a cabin for a couple of days. You got to bring up all the pads and jerseys and the equipment as well.
You know what was buried in that comment, but Chris was too nice to say it.
Yeah.
There's millions of dollars it takes to get there. Get your damn checkbooks out, Sun Devil fans, if you love it so much. Get your check. That's been the thing around this program forever. I love the Devils. Well, I'm not going to write a check. I love the Devils. I think it's hilarious. Hey,
I bought tickets that one time for my folks as a gift.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what season tickets once.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I wonder with Jaden Rashada. I've had the privilege and honor to. I've actually seen him in person. I worked for a 7-on-7. Interviewed him last January. He's a nice kid, humble guy. Obviously, with the headlines, people can, say, oh, he's all for the money. He doesn't want to play football.
Hey.
Him coming to ASU, I think, kind of turns that narrative. And Sun Devil fans, don't be shocked if this year or next year you'll see him starting. He's a hell of a talent. He's got a big arm, and he's smart. He's a smart kid.
And I think he comes in with a little bit of chip on his shoulder.
I agree.
After the way this whole thing played out.
I think that's why he came to ASU.
I think the way this played out, and look, you tell me, you're 18 years old and you're talking about that kind of money. You wouldn't do it any different than that kid did. You would. You would do it exactly what he did.
I would have wanted more. I would have demanded more.
I think it wasn't the amount that Florida, with the whole thing with Florida, that
the messaging.
It was the messaging and the dishonesty from Florida and what they promised him led him to ASU.
Coming up next, we'll check in with our regular visitor. Is this the last week?
No, sir.
2 more weeks?
We can't get rid of this guy. Come on now.
Jeff Hoodzow will be with us forever, but he definitely joins us next, coming up on Fox Sports 910.
Forever in our hearts.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I've been one to praise Patrick Mahomes. All the superlatives I've hurled his way, I've never felt more like, yep, that's what I was talking about. Jordan-esque, potential GOAT. Yep, that's what I was talking about. Best.
Saturday, but
Or take your night on the town by storm in a stylish Chevy Blazer. Make more memories and take on the road ahead, wherever it leads you. Find new experiences, find new roads. See your Valley Chevy dealers.
The football postseason is here, and you can still win Twin Peaks Man Cards just by playing Rock and Manuch with Jimmy B's Fan Pick'em contest.
Yes.
FanPick'em.com.
Got
it. In your weekly picks for your chance at weekly Man Cards.
I just had to switch
Twin Peaks,
a whole lot of
Coors
stuff,
Light,
but we're good.
And Blue Moon. Don't forget to stop by one of the 4 Valley Twin Peaks locations to watch all the playoff action.
I'm Attorney Kevin Rowe. Remember those bullies at high school? Of course you do. That's the way the insurance companies treat injured victims after a car wreck. It's unbelievable. And those tough-talking lawyers that stay out of court, they'll never get you the money you really deserve. At Lerner & Rowe, we fight the bullies and take them to court. That's why we recovered over $200 million for our clients last year alone. In a wreck, need a check? Call Lerner & Rowe. We're your 24/7 injury attorneys.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Arizona's largest locally owned A-plus BBB rated towing company is All City Towing. They're always looking to add motivated and competitive team members. Do you fit the bill? If so, head on over to allcitytowing.com/careers for more information.
Jenny!
Hey, Jenny!
Jenny, come on in!
Steve!
Hey, Steve!
Steve, how you doing?
Meg!
Meg, nice to see you!
Hey, Meg!
Arena Sports Grill. Come on out for the sports, off-track betting, incredible food, and friendly faces. The best daily specials in Scottsdale.
Oh, you're continuing that?
Arena Sports Grill, 62nd Street in Bell. We know you.
Join Fox Sports 910's Rock and Manuch with Jimmy B as they host the big game viewing party with special guests Bo Jackson and Doug Flutie. Watch the big game on the many large TV screens. Take advantage of the food and drink specials. Win cash with their quarter squares and prop games. Plus, be part of the kickoff progressive jackpot starting at $4,000. Tickets are $25 in advance and $35 at the door. Buy your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss being a part of the big game viewing party at Talking Stick Resort.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Josh, quote, "After walking around my whole life being a mouth breather, I was excited to try Navage. I read the directions carefully, pressed the button, and oh my gosh, what a sensation. So much mucus, so much crud, but oh sweet, merciful air, I can finally breathe you through my nose. Never have I ever taken such an amazing breath in my life. This is a life changer," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online.
Here we go.
Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
1 week from tomorrow, big game viewing party, an unrivaled experience in the Salt River Grand Ballroom, hosted by Rock Manuch and Jimmy B.
Oh, man, it's going to be awesome.
Doors open at 2 o'clock. Tickets are $25 in advance, $35 if you buy them at the door, but I wouldn't wait. Don't wait until the door opens because they may be gone. So go to rockamanuch.com. You can buy tickets online and hang out with the guys. Exclusive amenities include the large all over the room, cash and prizes, some great food and drink specials, and your chance to hang out with a couple celebrities, a couple of football legends, actually. Bo Jackson, Doug Flutie. Your chance, again, to watch the big game at Talking Stick Resort.
I love putting a couple dollars down here and there. I mean, we're sitting here at the CAZ Sports Bar, and one of the gateways to gambling at a casino or gambling on your phone or something like that for years has been Squares, which is something that we're going to do at the big game party here at the Casino Arizona, and they'll do that up at Talking Stick Resort. But I'll tell you, who else got a good Squares game going on? Best Deal in Town. Jeff Hood's out from Best Deal in Town, bestdealaz.com, joins us live right now on Take the Points, Fox Sports 910. And, Jeff, this is great. I mean, everybody likes getting in on a good Squares game for the big game. And looky here. You even got some partners. You got Marley's, Spinato's, Arizona Wilderness, which is, just a tremendous brewery, all teaming up to help out your customers. Best Deal in Town with a great Squares game. Tell me about it, Jeff.
Well, you know what? I decided, I've done it before, and I decided, you know what? I need to get more people involved. So I talked to some of our partners that we've done business with. So every quarter, you're going to win either Best Deal in Town money, 50, 100, 150, $200. And then on top of that, you're going to get gift cards every quarter if you win. And the best thing is you can't buy a spot. The only way to get in is to make a TV purchase in the next week. But, Mike, I'm glad you brought it up because I'm going to give away some free spots to our Squares contest, I think, today for your listeners.
Whoa. No way, really?
All you got to do is go to our website, bestdealaz.com, and there's a chat feature where you can chat with us in the store. Get on the chat and say, hey, I heard you on the radio. I want my free square, and I'll get you a free square.
Wow. I'm doing that right now, but I'm pretty sure I'm not eligible. Speaking of eligible, there's actually going to be a whole bunch of people who aren't eligible to play in the WM Phoenix Open this upcoming week because the field is so absolutely stacked. Now, for our listeners, we're gonna do a couple round snake draft later next hour where we give our picks, Jackson, Gross, myself. But Jeff Hood's out, Best Deal in Town. My man, you get the honors. You get to go first with your 2 picks right off the bat. So essentially, we're giving you the top 2. Aside from all the madness of fans and stuff like that, Jeff, who do you think is actually going to win on the golf course?
2 minutes. I am so chalk on my picks. It's disgusting.
Smart.
Give me local legend, John Rahm. I think that's a no-brainer. And I'm going to take another local celeb. Give me Max Homa. I want 2 local guys, Scottsdale guys. I think they're going to win this week. One of them's going to win.
All right, you got John Rahm at like plus 550, Max Homa plus 2,500. He just won at Torrey Pines. Couple of those picks off the board. Let's get some basketball picks for you. Rahm and Homa gone. This is a monster spread, but it's always interesting when you get those big numbers involved. We're talking about a 3-touchdown differential between the Beavers and the Wildcats, but this is a basketball game in Tucson later today. Oregon State at Arizona, minus 21. What are you thinking, Jeff?
That's a lot of points. Like these are guys that play basketball that are pretty good at basketball. So I'm going to take Oregon State. Give me Oregon State plus 21. Take the point.
All right. Now the other game in Arizona today involving the Pac-12 schools is in Tempe. Oregon is at Arizona State. ASU blew out Oregon at Eugene. Who you got?
I'm a big Activate the Valley. There may or may not be some news coming up with something that we may or may not be doing involved with that. But I like ASU. Give me ASU. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think they need to kind of figure it out, but I like ASU tonight.
He's got ASU in a pick'em. There you go. 602-260-9191. Make your picks right now, and you get to go up against Jeff, and you win $50 to Best Deal in Town.
Good stuff. Always enjoy visiting with Jeff. That's going to do it for hour number 1. Still to come, hour number 2. Marco D'Angelo at 12:30. He'll be by to talk big game with us. That's coming up on Fox Sports 910.
Marco. All clear.
Attention grillers. Is it time to replace that old grill in your backyard? Need to step up your game? Your chance to win a new one is right now. Just text PEAKS to 55678. That's PEAKS 55678. And you Enter to win a customized backyard grill patio set, courtesy of Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light. You can enter once a day. Standard message and data rates apply. That's Peaks to 55678.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, #SexyRoofStatus. All of our work using state-of-the-art materials and 5-star workmanship. Our inspections are free. You heard me? Free. Go to state48roofing.com to schedule your free appointment today.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Tune in weekdays 1 to 4 with Rockin' Manouche with Jimmy B for your chance to call in and give your prediction for the big game. Guess the score right and win the Talking Stick Resort Getaway Weekend valued at over $1,500.
That's weekdays 1 to 4.
Right here on Fox Sports 910. Tune in weekdays 1 to 4 with Rockin' Manouche with Jimmy B for your chance to call in and give your prediction for the big game. Guess the score right and win the Talking Stick Resort Getaway Weekend valued at over $1,500.
That's weekdays 1 to 4.
Right here on Fox Sports 910.
Attention seniors on Medicare. One Medical Seniors is a doctor's office designed around you and your needs. With convenient locations, on-site labs, and care coordination with specialists, our entire team works together to provide you with the best care possible. Come meet us at one of our no-cost events, like a Medicare 101 or a holiday party, and bring a friend. It's your time. It's your health. One Medical Seniors, building strong relationships with our patients and our community. Learn more at omsphoenix.com. That's omsphoenix.com.
I'm Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer lawyer. When it comes to your personal injury case, I'm straight to the point. I'll answer your call. No BS.
Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer lawyer. Call 1-800-ANTI-LAWYER.
When choosing a wireless provider, you're forced to compromise. But what if you didn't have to? What if you could get reliable service without a contract and save money? Introducing Total by Verizon, a new no-contract, no-credit check carrier for you and your family, with plans starting at just $30 a month on America's most reliable 5G network. Total by Verizon is available at totalbyverizon.com and at retailers nationwide, based on first-place rankings and RootMetrics first half 2022 5G assessments of 125 metros. Experiences may vary, not an endorsement.
O'Reilly. Count on the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your vehicle and budget. Get maximum cooling system performance for 10 years or 300,000 miles with peak long life universal pre-mixed antifreeze and coolant. Now just $6.99 after mail-in rebate. Plus get 2 times O Rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly. Limit supply. See store for details.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd, Monday from 10 to 1. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix, an iHeart radio station.
You scared me. I was about to make a joke. Oh, you're live, and then you started talking. I was like, "Is he actually live?" We got a minute.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
A nice Saturday for us with a forecast high of 59 degrees, plenty of sunshine expected. Saturday night, the overnight low falling to 38, with some of the areas surrounding the valley falling to around freezing. On to our Sunday, a high of 60 degrees. It'll be mostly sunny in the afternoon. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm meteorologist Crystal Ortiz.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Also,
Progressive
Bauer, why aren't you guys
Commercial
going
Insurance
to
can protect your small business
WM
with over
Open?
30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app,
I think it's
personalized
ridiculous.
discounts, and more. Get a quote.
I mean,
in as
I'll go
little as
instead if you
6
want.
minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
But it's WM Open.
For Arizona's only local sports gambling radio show. Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook
but it
at
sounds better on
CAZ
air
Sports
than
Bar
say
in
there.
Casino, Arizona.
Just the theater.
Your home for uncensored
Just lying
sports
to
betting
her.
opinions, analysis, and advice. The guys have you covered for all the games. Now, take the points on Fox Sports 910
You're
and
lying.
the iHeartRadio app.
Hour number 2. Mike Bauer, Mike Gross, Jackson Groff coming to you from the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona, Loop 101 in McKellips. Lots of college basketball going on here today in the Sportsbook, and lots of breakfast Sammys being eaten, Jackson.
We got some upsets.
Give us some updates here from the world of college basketball.
13 Iowa State just beat 8 Kansas 68-53, and then Virginia Tech 74. 6 Virginia 68. The number 6, the number 8 seed down already, and we're just getting started, folks.
Basketball season heating up. Big game, big day of games around the state. And we talked to Chris Cartman a moment ago. 8 o'clock tonight from Tempe. Must-win game for the Devils. ASU playing Oregon. That game, according to the sheet here at the Sportsbook, is a pick'em game, and kind of shows kind of the parity that you see around college basketball. But must-win for the Devils, and I thought Chris did a great job breaking it down. And I can't keep up, guys, with the net and the quadrants and all that. But while we were talking to Chris, I went and looked at it. And I was shocked when I knew it wasn't a good. You lose to Texas Southern if you're out of the Pac-12. You're never going to put a positive spin on that. But if you look at the ratings, the rankings, I guess that is a quad 4 team, the very bottom. I don't know how many teams there are in college basketball, but right now, according to the NET ratings, Texas Southern sits at number 314. 314. That's not good.
Out of 358.
What did he say?
358.
It's 7. It dropped him 7 or 8 spots.
Yeah.
I mean, just one loss. The other loss that he mentioned is the University of San Francisco.
They got blown out in the Bay Area in that one. Oh,
USF
my goodness.
is in 7th place in the West Coast Conference. So that was number 1. That's a number. They're ranked number 107.
That was a game. ASU lost by 37 points.
It was so bad.
Oh,
and then the
goodness.
one win, and I remember this early in the season, we were patting ourselves on the back. Arizona State beat Michigan. I believe it was
That's
at
right.
Madison Square Garden.
That's correct. Yes, it was.
Michigan is having a bad
Well, no,
year.
it was Brooklyn, but it was
in Brooklyn.
yeah.
Okay. And
Barclays.
Michigan is having a bad year. They're on the outside looking in right now. They're sitting at number 71. So when you look at things you thought you knew about ASU earlier in the year, you got that win against Michigan. Okay, you didn't get as much out of it.
It was a number 20th ranked Michigan team at the time. ASU wins by 25 points in that one. They won the Legends Classic at Barclays Center early in the season, and that was at the time again a win over a then 3-1 Michigan team that was number 20th in the nation. But that's that's the fallacy of preseason rankings because they're not a great team now.
And you're gonna schedule that game every time if you're ASU.
100%.
My point is, it just didn't give you what you had hoped it would give you down the stretch, Jackson. And then that losing streak that Cartman brought up in the Pac-12. That's really what's hanging over.
They got to
right
win
now.
all 6 games. Let's just not waste our breath. This ASU team is not making the tournament. Let's move on. Next year, they are not. I'm sorry.
No,
sorry. This team.
I agree with him 100%.
This team needs a miracle in the Pac-12 tournament to even have a shot. Let's not waste our breath. Maybe look on the next season, Sun Devil fans. Another disappointing season.
Another disappointing. Before we put the nail in the coffin, and sadly, I'm afraid you might be right, but 2 experts that we look at and love, reading and connecting with. Joe Lenardi has them. If you look at it, there's 8 teams out of the tournament before he gets to ASU. 7 teams out before he gets to ASU. So it's in that standings thing. If you're looking at it, you got a lot of teams to leapfrog. And our friend Jerry Palm, who I know Bauer, you've had on the show
Jerry.
lots of time. We have him on regularly. Jerry Palm doesn't even mention ASU in his work right now. That was after the win over Oregon State the other night. So, Jackson, as sad as that news is,
he's not wrong.
You may be right.
He's not wrong. Look, I mean, you have Oregon, then you go to the Bay Area school, Stanford, Cal, then the Pac-12 misfits of Colorado, Utah, because you can't really pair them up, the different states. But they come to town, and then you finish with 3 games on the road, and you telling me that you're going to win 2 of these? Forget about the other games that you could still lose to Oregon today in a pick'em game at home. Look, forget about Cal, forget about Colorado and Utah. Are you telling me that the Sun Devils are going to win all 3 of these games at the end of the regular season at Arizona, at UCLA, at USC? Are they going to do, because they need to do that in order to make it in without the Pac-12 tournament. So look, the best, maybe not best, the most realistic path to the Sun Devils getting in the dance, and let's be honest, probably Dayton, is to win 4 straight games in Las Vegas in March.
Or
that's their best path to the championship, is to win 4 games. I mean, seeding wise, I guess maybe it's 3 because you don't play in the first round.
It feels like football and basketball. The Pac-12, whenever there's a team like Arizona or a team like USC or a team that's like the top dog that could have a chance of even making the playoff for football or making a high seed for the March Madness, they get beat out, and they always beat each other. It's like a carousel of the Pac-12 beating the next team every single year in every sport.
Yeah, Pac-12 very, very good at a couple things. One, not being seen by its own fans on television or at any point in time during the TV schedule when you'd want to watch them, 10-30 games. And number 2, cannibalizing itself. Well, those are the 2 things the Pac-12 is really good at.
That visibility thing is self-inflicted, though. I
it is 100%.
That. It's a self-inflicted thing. And you look at it with the I don't even know what the word I want to use is, what they roll out from a product standpoint. Because, look, all of a sudden USC got good this year.
Yep.
People paid attention.
Yep.
They're still in the Pac-12. They still live in Los Angeles, but people paid attention because USC was good again. Guess what?
You're talking about in football there.
Well, right. Yeah. But it's a football-basketball problem. Arizona and UCLA are both really good this year. Guess what? CBS managed to find them and put them on national TV. So I don't for a second blame the media for the problems that the Pac-12 has. I mean, of course, the Pac-12 network, but that's a different conversation. The visibility of the program, if you have these programs that are good, the media will find them.
I can't
Guess
wait.
what? Deion Sanders is going to bring a lot of publicity to the conference, and he's still in the Pac-12. So this whole thing that the media doesn't pay attention or it's East Coast bias, I don't buy it. Jackson was reading a story about St. Mary's and Gonzaga. People found West Coast Conference basketball because it's 100%. Good.
Yeah.
So it's a problem that every year we talk about with the Pac-12. Well, we might get 3 in if we're lucky. How is that acceptable? How is it acceptable that, you look at the schedules that these teams play?
Yeah.
We talk about a bad loss. If Texas Southern was the only quad 4 team on the Pac-12 schedule, then okay, fine. It's a one-off. It's not. It's commonplace with this conference.
Yeah, and the Pac-12, Jackson, to your point, cannibalizing itself in football, in basketball, and this is the stat that you alluded to from our guest last hour, Chris Cartman, who's great to join us. He said ASU is included in just 18 out of 90 brackets on yesterday's bracket matrix update with an NCAA net ranking of 62. And then he says probably need to win 4 of its next 5 games to remain in contention for an at-large bid. So that said, forget about ASU, guys. What, UCLA and Arizona, slam dunk locks, they're in the tournament now?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And then what else? When you're looking at the rest of the conference, USC is sitting there at 16 wins. ASU obviously is there at 16 wins. Utah's at 15 wins. So, and I'm talking about overall, not the conference wins.
Right.
But in terms of that, those are the only teams above 15. Utah's at 15. USC and ASU are both at 16. So those are teams that still need to proverbially build resumes.
The narrative is what it is every year.
Yep.
They will be lucky to get 3 in. Arizona's taking care of business. UCLA's taking care of business. The pressure's on everybody else. And the money part of NCAA basketball goes in your shares. The more teams you get in and the further they advance, the more money you get. So there you go. All right, speaking of work to do and taking care of business, Jackson, last night in Boston, Huge win for the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, the money line was plus 340 for the Suns team, and they shocked people. I didn't think the Suns had it in them to beat the Celtics by 12. They started off with a very big, impressive first half, scoring 57 points in the first half. And the highlight there is Mikal Bridges, 25 points, Chris Paul, 15, DeAndre Ayton, 14 and 10. Not a great night shooting for him, I guess. 7 of 13. I wish he had more buckets, more field goal
How many free throws did DeAndre Ayton take?
He only had 1, 0 for 1.
You're always on
still something that he needs to improve on. But when you look at the bench-wise, 36 points off the bench between Wainwright, Landell, Lee, and Lee. Guys, trade deadlines on Thursday. Kyrie Irving's name has been thrown out there. He is the 4th.
Oh, my God.
The hardest of passes. Hard pass. Hard
pass for Kyrie
pass.
Irving. Okay,
hard pass.
Do not
Nope.
pass go.
Nope. Out. No interest at all whatsoever. I don't care. I don't care if you get him for pennies on the dollar. No.
Do you think they make a move in trade deadline besides Kyrie Irving? Maybe like some role players like Kyle Kuzma's name's been thrown out.
Don't they have to clear the books of Jay Crowder?
That is true.
They got to do something.
Crowder's got to go.
He's hanging over this team. Obviously the Sarver story is the biggest shadow, but this Jay Crowder mess, he's got to go. Tonight, though, and this kind of goes back to the margin for error of teams in the state of Arizona. Don't take a step back. You got a huge win last night in Boston. They're in downtown Detroit at Little Caesar Arena to play the Pistons, 5-point favorites. You got to win this. Do not take a step back because the standings show you beat the Celtics. You vault yourself all the way up, I believe, Jackson, to the 6th spot.
Yep.
And you lose this game tonight. You fall all the way back down somewhere in that 8, 9, 10 range.
And you win, you go up to 4.
Right. So you want to be above the 6th line if you're Phoenix Suns when the music stops at the end of the season.
Is there any chance that Devin Booker's wearing that stupid, awful hat that he was wearing yesterday? They're in Detroit. Is he going to wear that dumb Red Wings hat he was wearing last night? My new least favorite player in the NBA, Devin Booker.
Wow.
What a stupid hat. Get out of here with that trash.
Yeah, not a great hat for him.
He's not wearing that in Detroit tonight, I'm sure.
Hopefully he comes back
Terrible
soon.
hat.
But when you look at the Western Conference, guys, Nuggets at 1, Grizzlies at 2, Kings 3, Mavericks 4, Clippers 5. You could argue that the Suns are better than at least 3 or 4 of those teams ahead of them. They're in a good spot. I think they're the 6th spot without Devin Booker, and you got Clippers, Mavericks, Kings that are kind of up and down, in my opinion. The Warriors, obviously, at 9 are probably the best team in the top 10 when it comes to it that have more potential, but the Suns team,
I don't know.
Might have a chance turning around.
Suns team, if they get healthy, they're one of, if not the most dangerous team in the playoffs. If they get healthy between now and then, that's a big if.
Let's clear the Super Bowl, and then we'll get into that because I think it's fascinating. Like, if you're the Suns, where do you want to land? Like I said, you want to be above 6 because you don't want Chris Paul playing any more games than he has to. But then matchups do matter. We'll keep an eye on that down the stretch. But we'll step aside here, come back. We do need to talk about the big game. It's coming up 1 week from tomorrow. We'll do that next on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points.
All clear.
Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Join me, Jody Ayler, and Fox Sports 910 for the 23rd annual Celebrity Sweat Flag football game with over 30 stars, including RG3 and Tracy McGrady. It all happens at Grand Canyon University, Super Saturday, February 11th. Get your tickets at celebflagfootball.com.
Where will your new Chevy take you this year? Anywhere. It's the perfect time of year to take your next adventure off-road in a powerful Chevy Silverado. Round up the whole gang for some family fun in a Chevy Equinox. Hey kids, let's go. Or take your night on the town by storm in a stylish Chevy Blazer. Make more memories and take on the road ahead. Wherever it leads you. Find new experiences, find new roads. See your Valley Chevy dealers.
Join Fox Sports 910's Rock and Minuch with Jimmy B as they host the big game viewing party with special guests Bo Jackson and Doug Flutie. Watch the big game on the many large TV screens. Take advantage of the food and drink specials. Win cash with their quarter squares and prop games. Plus, be part of the kickoff progressive jackpot starting at $4,000. Tickets are $25 in advance and $35 at the door. Buy your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss being a part of the big game viewing party at Talking Stick Resort.
Get ready for the nothing but net action of college basketball on AZTV Channel 7. Every Monday and Saturday, we take you courtside for both men's and women's college hoops. AZTV Channel 7. Check out the schedule at aztv.com.
Are you living paycheck to paycheck only to find yourself going backwards financially each month? Nobody wants to file bankruptcy, but at many times, it's the best choice. The credit industry wants you to believe that bankruptcy is bad and that it will destroy your credit forever, but that's just not true. In most cases, filing bankruptcy can improve your credit. At Lerner Rowe Law Group,
I'll call them.
Lawyers only work on bankruptcy cases, and we can file your bankruptcy with $0 down.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
The football postseason is here, and you can still win Twin Peaks Man Cards just by playing Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B's weekly Fan Pick'em contest. Head to fanpick'em.com and get in your weekly picks for your chance at weekly Man Cards. Thanks to Twin Peaks, Coors Light, and Blue Moon. Don't forget to stop by one of the 4 Valley Twin Peaks locations to watch all the playoff action.
The right price, the right selection. It's all now at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Stop by today and see why Wright Toyota continues to be Arizona's top Toyota dealership, located just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard and online at wrighttoyota.com.
Bo knows where to watch the big game. Talking Stick Resort. Join Fox Sports 910's Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B as they host the big game viewing party with special guests Bo Jackson and Doug Flutie. Get your tickets now, just $25 at Ticketmaster.com. It's the big game viewing party at Talking Stick Resort.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Attention seniors on Medicare.
30
One
seconds.
Medical Seniors is a doctor's office designed around you and your needs. With convenient locations, on-site labs, and care coordination with specialists, our entire team works together to provide you with the best care possible. Come meet us at one of our no-cost events, like a Medicare 101 or a holiday party, and bring a friend. It's your time. It's your health. One Medical Seniors, building strong relationships with our patients and our community. Learn more
Here we go.
omsphoenix.com. That's omsphoenix.com.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Exclusively on
You're live.
Fox Sports 910.
Hey, quick shout out. We don't talk high school sports on the show, but I'm going to do it for a second. High school state championship tonight in ice hockey from the Mullet Arena on the campus of ASU. Desert Vista and Notre Dame Prep. Puck drops for the championship game tonight at 7 o'clock. Cool that the High School Association and ASU came together to have those kids play
That's
that
awesome.
game tonight at Mullet. The Coyotes on the All-Star break. ASU up in Alaska this weekend, so it worked out just perfectly. Good partnership between ASHA, which is the high school hockey governing body, and ASU Prep. So they're expecting a big crowd. I mean, I think that's cool, and I think it goes to the hockey growth here in the state of Arizona. Puck drop, 7 o'clock. Tickets available at the door. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we will head to Las Vegas and visit with our good friend Marco D'Angelo of WagerTalk.com. Earlier in the show, Jackson was looking at some of the prop bets that are out there, and Marco will tell us, I've done this enough to know what's on his script for today, is we'll look at the big game and we'll get his thoughts at a high level about what's going to happen, and then we'll talk about some of the props. He tweeted some stuff out, but he will tell us, you guys are lucky to be in Arizona because you have more options when it comes to prop bets than we do here in Las Vegas. So that'll be fun. Marco will be with us in just a little bit. But some of those prop bets that we were looking at, we'll get to in a minute, Jackson. But the game itself, the Eagles and the Chiefs from the stadium here in Glendale, the Eagles, a 1.5-point favorite. And the point total right now sits at 50.5, according to the sheet that we picked up this morning here at Casino, Arizona, inside CAZ Sportsbook, CAZ Sports Bar with the Sportsbook. 1.5, guys, your thoughts on that? Because that number, it bounced around a lot. It looked like when you see the bingo spinner where the numbers are spinning and spinning and spinning, and it spits something out, and it bounced a lot, but it settled in at the Eagles 1.5.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where it's going to end up. Usually on game day, is when the line changes the most, whether in favor of the Eagles maybe going up some points. I know the Eagles earlier in this week, they were favored by 2.5, and it's gone down to 1.5. And interested to see there and interested to see where the people are going to be voting and placing their bets on ahead of Sunday.
Yeah, oh, hey now. Weird moving microphone, getting really loud here, guys. Sorry. Yeah, the line really close. Look, no surprise here. You're looking at the fact that, you get a -2, you get a -1, you get the 1.5, and it's going to stay within that field goal number. I don't think it's going to go anywhere crazy past that number. But, man, it is always fun to see where you can get some action in terms of props. There's always these weird kind of mix-ups in terms of, all right, will X team have more points than LeBron scores that day? You can have these cross-sport props and stuff like that. But in terms of the game itself and the actual line, and this is going to have a lot to do with how healthy the teams are, Patrick Mahomes, how healthy that wide receiving core. You guys are talking about an hour ago in terms of the breakdown of just how banged up the Chiefs were. Look, I know it came down to it at the end, and then there's a lot of talk, a lot of finger pointing at the referees and stuff like that. But it was impressive that the Kansas City Chiefs, to me, were able to beat as good a football team as the Cincinnati Bengals, with how banged up they were. They were bringing in essentially street free agents at the end of the game, catching passes, guys that hadn't run routes. They were completely discombobulated in terms of, the fact that they were running the ball when they probably really wanted to be passing because they had to work in wide receivers that were, scout team, practice squad guys just recently. So they were that banged up. And to me, it was impressive in the end. Look, this is going to be a great game because you have not just great offenses, but this Philadelphia Eagles defense is for real. And while there are some weaknesses in the Kansas City defense, they got some damn good playmakers too. Chris Jones, for years, has been one of the most underrated players in the NFL. And he showed up and he showed out last week. So, guys, I can't wait, for one, just to watch the game as a fan, but I can't wait for our listeners to come out here and join us and watch the big game here at Casino Arizona, because I've been doing this viewing party for years, and it is always one of the highlights of my year. It's so much fun, that game day right here at Casino Arizona on Sunday, a week from tomorrow.
Story from Mike Florio this morning.
It's Mark's brother.
He found the first $1 million bet for the Super Bowl has landed. I love the way he writes it.
It wasn't mine.
I'm just going to read it. Someone has bet $1 million on the Eagles straight up with BetMGM at -125 odds. The bet will pay, if Philly wins, $800,000. And if the Chiefs win, $1 million will be gone forever. So that's Mike Florio's take on the first reported $1 million bet, which will be the first of many. And that'll be what Marco tells us. Like, the public will come in and they'll bet, you get that 1.5. And
right.
You put $10 down, it's not going to do anything. You got people like this coming in, dropping $1 million into the pot. It's going to start to see it swing a little bit. So keeping an eye on that as we move ahead. But the first of many. And again, it'll be interesting for, the people that come from out of state. They're landing here in Arizona, and how they'll take advantage of the wagering options that are available to you in the great state of Arizona that maybe aren't available. Because I know when I drove to the state of New Mexico the other day, I was trying to log into my account, and as soon as you hit the state line, you're locked out. So you got people coming from other places that can't currently wager. It should be good for the coffers here in Arizona. We're going to step aside and get ready to head up to Las Vegas. Say hello to our good friend Marco D'Angelo. That's coming up next on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. All clear. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Join Fox Sports 910's Rock and Minuch with Jimmy B as they host the big game viewing party with special guests Bo Jackson and Doug Flutie. Watch the big game on the many large TV screens. Take advantage of the food and drink specials. Win cash with their quarter squares and prop games. Plus, be part of the kickoff progressive jackpot starting at $4,000. Tickets are $25 in advance and $35 at the door. Buy your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss being a part of the big game viewing party at Talking Stick Resort.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, rock for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Looking for a change in your career? All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings now available in customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance. Careers or call 480-833-7278.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Over the years, Lerner Rowe has helped over 120,000 people recover billions of dollars for their injuries. And during that time, we've donated millions of dollars to Arizona charities. Our goal is not only to make a positive impact on our clients' lives, but also the lives of many Arizona residents that rely on nonprofits to get through their tough times. Lerner Rowe is more than just a law firm. We're a community partner dedicated to make Arizona a better place for everyone.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Tune in weekdays 1 to 4 with Rockin' Minoosh with Jimmy B for your chance to call in and give your prediction for the big game. Guess the score right and win the Talking Stick Resort Getaway Weekend valued at over $1,500. That's weekdays 1 to 4 right here on Fox Sports 910.
Are you looking to get into the best shape of your life or looking to offer your son or daughter the best training in Arizona? Then listen up. Dan Minucci for the new Cocoa 5 Performance Center at Bell Bank Park in Mesa. The state-of-the-art performance center is a 25,000 square foot facility and is home to sports performance for teams, individuals, combine prep, and professional athletes. And now the new home where I coach my quarterback. 80 yards of indoor turf and track along with an outside turf workout area, plus tons of squat and bench stations along with world-class training equipment. And they have the best team of coaches in the Southwest led by Olympic gold medal winner Dan O'Brien. If you or your son or daughter are ready to take the next step by gaining more speed, agility, power, or flexibility, then you need to check out the Cocoa 5 Performance Center at Bell Bank Park. Sign up by calling 480-572-0647, and one of their team members will create an individualized program specific to your needs. That's 480-572-0647 or online at legacyperformanceaz.com. For limited time, if you mention me, Dan Minucci, he'll give you your first session on me. That's legacyperformanceaz.com.
Where will your new Chevy take you this year? Anywhere. It's the perfect time of year to take your next adventure off-road in a powerful Chevy Silverado. Round up the whole gang for some family fun in a Chevy Equinox. Hey kids, let's go. Or take your night on the town by storm in a stylish Chevy Blazer. Make more memories and take on the road ahead, wherever it leads you. Find new experiences, find new roads. See your Valley Chevy dealers.
Join Fox Sports 910's Rock and Minooch with Jimmy B as they host the big game viewing party with special guests Bo Jackson and Doug Flutie. Watch the big game on the many large TV screens. Take advantage of the food and drink specials. Win cash with their quarter squares and prop games. Plus, be part of the kickoff progressive jackpot starting at $4,000. Tickets are $25 in advance and $35 at the door. Buy your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss being a part of the big game viewing party at Talking Stick Resort.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose...
Jackson, I did tails last Super Bowl and I lost.
Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses...
I'm doing something again this year, but I don't know either.
Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, my doctor wanted me to do saline rinses...
I was upset about my 20.
I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's...
It was 20 to win like 18.
Particularly bothersome allergies.
And then I put 20 on the kickoff, the opening kickoff to be a touchback, so I won it back. Like I won 18.
Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthy without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online.
Here's the intro, by the way.
NAVAGE. Clean nose, healthy life.
Who's a lock? Who should you stay away from? Take the points. Powered by CAZ Sports Bar's resident handicapper. Marco D'Angelo of WagerTalk.com joins us now on Fox Sports 910.
It's that time of the day when we head up to Las Vegas to say hello and welcome to the program our good friend and regular contributor, Marco D'Angelo. Marco! Every Saturday, Marco. He gets so geared up for that.
So excited.
I was a little
Only
quieter.
one more of those, though, man. I'm bummed.
He has next Saturday off, Marco. So I'll give you advance warning now. Please don't be disappointed. When maybe we'll ask him to record it. We'll play it. I don't want it to be a letdown next week, right?
We should have him record Marco's voicemail message.
Yeah,
hey, you've reached Marco.
It is Marco D'Angelo from WagerTalk.com, and it's the calm before the storm, Marco. And we always do this, and you and I have been doing radio shows together for, I can't even tell you how long, over 10 years. And this is always kind of like a melancholy Saturday, right? We're excited because we got the big game coming up, but we're kind of bummed out because we know this is it. No more football till the fall. So we'll kind of absorb that for a minute and get your initial thoughts. The big game being played here in Glendale, Arizona. We've got the number 1 seed from the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the number 1 seed from the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles. And when this line came out, it moved all over the place, bouncing back and forth between these two teams. And right now, we don't, obviously a lot of time to go between now and kickoff. What we're seeing here at the Sportsbook, it's a 1.5 favorite in favor of the Eagles, and that over-under sits at 50.5.
That's exactly what we're seeing here in Vegas across the Strip as well. Now, you talked about a pretty volatile first 20 minutes once they posted numbers on this game. Last Sunday night, one of the books here in Vegas, who was the first to bring out the number, actually brought out Kansas City as the favorite in this game, and they went from Kansas City 2.5 all the way over to the other side, Philadelphia 2.5 in 20 minutes. 2.5 for Philadelphia minus 2.5 was the highest point that we saw this line, and then it came down to 2, and now is settled, as you said, at 1.5. And to be honest with it, when my initial thoughts were at the end of the game last week, I'm sitting there with the missus, and I said, I'm going to make it Kansas City a 2-point favorite, and I had the total at 51. So I was pretty much dead on with the total. My initial thought, just because of the experience factor, given the extra week, and I know there's a lot of people that like the extra week in between, and some want to see the game right away. If there was ever a Super Bowl that really both teams needed that extra week, Jalen Hurts with the shoulder and Patrick Mahomes with the ankle, they need that extra week, because the last thing we would want to see is a Super Bowl like we just saw the NFC Championship game. That was obviously not fun for the 49ers and their backers, and it just made for horrible TV. Well, when Brock Purdy got hurt, and then the backup, who was a fourth-string quarterback, and really basically a lifelong journeyman on NFL rosters, had to come into the game, and he gets a concussion and has to leave. That was not good for the sport. But looking at this, the reason I thought Kansas City should have been the favorite to start the game at first glance was, this is Jalen Hurts' second year. Here he is in the Super Bowl. We know how hard that is for quarterbacks to win in that fashion, coming to the Super Bowl at such a young age. And for me, it brought memories of the Miami Dolphins against the 49ers and Dan Marino making it to the Super Bowl in his second year. That was at the time, one of the biggest bets I ever made of my career was on the 49ers in that game, because you had a prolific offense in the 49ers. You had Miami that was moving the football, obviously, with Dan Marino in the passing game, but at a stage that he had never been on before. And I thought it would be too much, and it was an easy win for the 49ers. So that was my initial thought. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I haven't locked in which side we're going with yet, but I can tell you that I have swung from, I'm on Kansas City, to right now I'm heading back to the middle and swinging towards the Philadelphia side, because we've got a lot of different issues here to consider. And not only the Mahomes injury, but as you saw in the Kansas City game, at the end of the game, he had only basically one target to throw to, and that was Kelsey. And it's a situation where we got to see how many hands are on deck for Mahomes. And as we progress closer to game time, yes, Mahomes got through the injury last week. But we know that with that type of injury, it takes several weeks for it to heal. And the question is, did he do more damage playing on it last week? We know he's going to play. It's going to be a question of how effective is he going to be and who is going to be able to go with. And the one thing that's going to be a major difference from last week is even though he wasn't mobile, Cincinnati wasn't able to get to him as often as you would have thought. You saw that whenever he did move, he was basically moving up in the pocket. He wasn't extending the play to the outside. And on the few times that he did go to the outside, he always went to the right. It was like he couldn't make the cut to the left. So that's a concern when you're going from the Cincinnati pass rush to the best pass rush in football in the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, everybody's made, and me included, because it's a fact, Philadelphia's had an easy road to the Super Bowl, maybe one of the easiest we've seen in the last decade.
Fair enough.
But it still doesn't take away from what they've done. They beat the teams they're supposed to beat. The games that they had trouble this year was either they turned the football over or they did not have Jalen Hurts or not Jalen Hurts, a healthy Jalen Hurts. So that's why I'm swinging back to the Philadelphia side on my early take in this one.
Wager Talks, Marco D'Angelo joins us today here on Take the Points. And something about this game that is so special, Marco, is the amount of props that you can bet on, whether it's the Gatorade bat, the coin toss, football-related props like first touchdown scorer, anytime touchdown scorer, so many props. And props are something that we haven't talked to you yet all season. I'm just curious, as someone with so much betting experience like yourself, are there props that you favor every single year that are most reliant that you have won on each year, or does it kind of vary each season, each Super Bowl when it comes to props? And are there some that you're favoring for the game on Sunday?
Well, there's always props that I like that, I always take a first look at. One of them is which half will be the highest scoring half. And I always gravitate to the second half being the higher scoring half than the first half. And the reason for that is because it is such a big game. And for some, players, like this year with Philadelphia, this is going to be a new experience for these guys. And coaches don't want to make a mistake early. You don't want to fall behind. So it's kind of like a boxing match, a heavyweight boxing match. They don't come out throwing haymakers in the first round. They're jiving, they're jabbing, filling each other out, and it's a slow start. And then it picks up the tempo. So that's one of the things to look at. But the things you got to remember about the Super Bowl prop betting is it's got to be an extension of how you've handicapped the game, what you expect to happen. Now, one of the things is when we look at Philadelphia, and I just talked about their defense and how good it is with their pass rush and everything, the one weak link on the Philadelphia team defensively is they don't stop the football, running the football well. Okay. Now, unfortunately for Kansas City, that's not one of their strengths. So will Kansas City be able to take advantage of that? That is something that when you're handicapping the game, that you look for matchups in that area. I can tell you, and Mike knows the sports book that I was in yesterday, they are the king of the props, okay? They bring them out on Thursday night, the off week. So 2 nights ago, they had their unveiling of the props. 32 pages of props that they put up in the sports book. Now, what they do is they don't have the booklet printed on the opening. What they want you to do is to come in, they want you to stand there, and they start releasing the props up on the big board at 7 p.m. You have a line of people. They only put one window open for it because they want everybody to have the fair shot at getting out a number at the their turn. If they had multiple windows, somebody bets it on lane 8, and somebody right after that's over on lane 1 trying to make the same prop, the line's going to move. So you get to see it. You get to bet 2 props. You wait in line. They let you bet 2 props for the maximum, and they let you go. It's either 1,000 or 2,000 on the props, and then you got to go to the back of the line to come back and bet 2 more props. So everybody gets a fair shot at it.
Wow.
And it is quite the experience to watch. Now, because I did the show from that Sportsbook yesterday, radio show, got to talk with the Sportsbook director, and what I can share with you guys today is a couple of the early props that the Sharps hit right away. And one of them is, and it's a new prop they put up, is the total yardage of field goals made. So that means you take every field goal that's made. If it's a 35-yard field goal, the next one's a 40-yard field goal. Well, that's 75 yards of field goals made. They opened this prop up at 102.5 yards. Within the first few bets, they had that moved to 115 yards. That's how many people were taking the over on the yardage on field goals. Another one that took some money was some Mahomes props. They put up Mahomes rush attempts at 2.5. They bet it right away. They bet it to 3. They bet it to 3.5, to 4, to 4.5. That's a pretty significant move. You say, well, it's only 2 different, 2 more rush attempts. They opened it at 2.5. They almost doubled the point spread, if you look at it in that regard. So people think that Mahomes is actually going to run the football a few times in this game, and that goes back to what I said at the beginning. What's the one weakness on Philadelphia? The rush defense. Yeah. And with that said, they also had a movement on Mahomes' rushing yards. It was at 10.5, moved to 16.5 right away. Now, remember with the prop bets on these, understand your rules, and so that you know everything. A couple years ago, and it was Mahomes, my buddy, I had an over on the rushing attempts. He went over by like 5 yards in the fourth quarter, and I'm like, yeah, we cashed that one already. And then at the end of the game, they were in victory formation, but there was a little bit of a differential on the play clock and game clock and everything. So when he kneeled the 3 times, he didn't just kneel. He went backwards 2 or 3 yards to take a couple extra seconds off on each play. Well, those count as lost yards.
Oh, man.
I lost the prop bet by him in victory formation.
There you go.
You want to talk about a bad beat. But those are the different things that you got to look at in Super Bowls. One of my props that maybe stuck out to me in this one, and it goes to a correlation with what I like on first half being the lower scoring game. You have a prop for field goals made in this game. And I told you that they opened it at 102 yards. So basically, they're saying there's going to be at least 3 field goals in this game. The prop is at 3.5 for the full game. If you take field goals made for the first half, it's at 1.5. I think there's field goals at teams don't want to make mistakes. They're playing a little bit more conservative. Plus, the beginning of the game, it's 0-0. You're going to be more apt to put points on the board in a Super Bowl
Take the 3.
in a 0-0 game than you are going to gamble on a 4th and 3. Like over 1.5 field goals first half. Wow.
Marco, so much good stuff there. We could do this all afternoon. Hey, go to the website, wagertalk.com. And while you were talking, Marco, I found you guys have something fun out there. You've got a Super Bowl party prop sheet people can print, download. If you're hosting a Super Bowl party, print it out. The game's already going. It'll make it that much more interesting with the Wager Talk Super Bowl party props. Marco, we'll give you a week to kind of digest everything that's going on, and we'll bring you back next Saturday, and we'll get your official pick and thoughts on the big game that's being played here in Arizona 1 week from tomorrow. But as always, Marco, we appreciate your time. Good stuff. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, guys. Let's enjoy it. Can't cash any tickets today, but we'll get them next week.
There we go. Marco D'Angelo. Follow him on Twitter, @Marco in Vegas. And the website, one more time, wagertalk.com. We'll step aside here one more time for us, our final break of the day. Come back and wrap up today's show on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points.
All clear.
Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Car payment, groceries, mortgage, gasoline. Life is expensive, but we're giving you a shot at $1,000 every hour with Inflation Compensation. Your next chance to win is Monday morning at 7. Sponsored by Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorney.
Hey, Arizona, it's your local accident attorney, Kevin Rowe from Lerner & Rowe, where there are no fees until we win your case. Speaking of win, we want to help you bank $1,000, powered by Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorneys. Interact, need a check? Call Lerner & Rowe today, 977-1900.
Where will your new Chevy take you this year? Anywhere. It's the perfect time of year to take your next adventure off-road in a powerful Chevy Silverado. Round up the whole gang for some family fun in a Chevy Equinox. Hey kids, let's go. Or take your night on the town by storm in a stylish Chevy Blazer. Make more memories and take on the road ahead. Wherever it leads you. Find new experiences, find new roads. See your Valley Chevy dealers.
Join Fox Sports 910's Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B as they host the big game viewing party with special guests Bo Jackson and Doug Flutie. Watch the big game on the many large TV screens. Take advantage of the food and drink specials. Win cash with their quarter squares and prop games. Plus, be part of the kickoff progressive jackpot starting at $4,000. Tickets are $25 in advance and $35 at the door. Buy your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss being a part of the big game viewing party at Talking Stick Resort.
Shopping for a mortgage? Big banks can be a big hassle. Call GC Global Capital and work with a local team of mortgage experts for great rates and lower fees, more options, and faster closings. Don't let your dream home purchase turn into a nightmare. Call the professionals at GC Global Capital, 480-397-9300. GC Global Capital, your local mortgage professionals.
GC Global Capital is an Arizona licensed mortgage broker, NMLS 1091187, license MB0924983, and equal opportunity lender.
Get ready for the nothing but net action of college basketball on AZTV Channel 7. Every Monday and Saturday, we take you courtside for both men's and women's college hoops. AZTV Channel 7. Check out the schedule at aztv.com.
Attention grillers. Is it time to replace that old grill in your backyard? Need to step up your game?
It'll be a 7-minute segment.
Is right now. Just text PEAKS to 55678. That's PEAKS 55678. And you will be entered to win a customized backyard grill patio set, courtesy of Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light.
I did not.
Enter once a day. Standard message and data rates apply. That's PEAKS to 55678.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. And online at WrightToyota.com.
A homeowner just like you.
Hey.
Decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the back side of the roof until...
What? Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48 Roofing, offering maintenance, repairs, and replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded. From residential to commercial. State48roofing.com.
Tune in weekdays 1 to 4 with Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B for your chance to call in and give your prediction for the big game. Guess the score right and win the Talking Stick Resort Getaway Weekend valued at over $1,500.
That's weekdays 1 to 4.
Right here on Fox Sports 910.
Attention seniors on Medicare. One Medical Seniors is a doctor's office designed around you and your needs. With convenient locations, on-site labs, and care coordination with specialists, our entire team works together to provide you with the best care possible. Come meet us at one of our no-cost events, like a Medicare 101 or a holiday party, and bring a friend. It's your time. It's your health. One Medical Seniors, building strong relationships with our patients and our community. Learn more at omsphoenix.com. That's omsphoenix.com.
In a world full of rewards programs, there's never been one quite as fantastic as MGM Rewards. As an MGM Rewards member, dine,
30
stay,
seconds.
play, and earn on what you love. Have the meal of a lifetime. Cheer on your favorite team. See a show that blows your mind. Stay in a baller suite. Shop till you drop. Make the spa your second home. Or just find a nice loud corner for some bottle service. With MGM Rewards, unlock the best of Las Vegas. Visit MGMRewards.com for more details.
Here we go.
Earning redemption limitations applicable to certain purchases and in certain states.
I don't have an intro.
Perfect. We're getting ready to kick us
So you're
out of
live.
here. Final segment of the day. Thanks again to Marco D'Angelo from WagerTalk.com.
The bar's not closing, though.
No.
They're going to be open all day. There's
just
sports
kicking
on
us
all
out.
day.
All right. This is the fine part of the broadcast where we follow the professional who makes picks for a living, and we make our picks. And,
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be quick and get out of here on time so Ryan doesn't have to pull the plug on us.
602-260-9191 is the number if you want to get in and make your picks against our friend Jeff Hoodzow from Best Deal in Town. Great place to get a TV, any kind of electronics you might need. Best Deal in Town. Now, here's the way it works. You make picks just like we're about to, and if you beat Jeff, you win a $50 gift certificate to Best Deal in Town. And just for calling in, you're automatically entered to win a 75-inch 4K smart TV from bestdealaz.com. And Jeff actually sweetened the pot for every listener. So even if you don't call in right now, 602-260-9191, and you go to bestdealaz.com and you use their chat feature on their website, and you just say, hey, I heard a little something about the Super Bowl Squares contest that Best Deal AZ is having. He's going to hook you up with a free square, which means you could win a bunch of great stuff, including gift cards to Arizona Wilderness or Spinatos, tremendous opportunity. So go online to bestdealaz.com, jump into the chat feature. But the first two picks that Jeff made are WM Phoenix Open presented by Taylor Morrison picks. He picked John Rahm and Max Homa. We're going to do a draft style. Those two are off the board, but we'll do a snake style draft. We'll go Jackson, and then Gross, and then me.
All right.
I'm gonna go last because I also work on Backspin the Golf Show. So I'm gonna let you guys make your picks before I make my picks that I learned from the pros on Backspin.
All right.
So Jackson, with Max Homa, who just won at Torrey Pines, and John Rahm, who's on a tear off the board. Who is your first pick in the Take the Points WM Phoenix Open draft?
My first overall pick. Give me Tony Finau. First overall pick.
Love it. You're going with a pin guy right there. Tony Finau is off the board.
Did you know he was a pin guy?
Underdog right there.
Did you know he was a pin guy?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, me either. Hey, I'm going. I don't know if this. I was telling you guys. I used to go do the radio show every week or every year when we were out there.
Oh yeah,
I haven't
a lot
paid
of fun out
attention to
there.
golf in a minute, but does Ricky Fowler still play?
Ricky Fowler does still play. He won it a couple years ago.
Can I take
He's
Ricky Fowler?
reinvented his swing this year, or his button stroke. So yeah, you can take Ricky Fowler.
Plus 5,000 Ricky Fowler there, Gross.
Big money on that. Okay, cool. So you guys just leaving Rory for me? I'm
fine.
taking Rory. I'm
Okay.
taking Rory, and we're going snake style on this draft, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with a Troon guy. I'm gonna go with Matt Fitzpatrick. Like Matt Fitzpatrick. I'm going a little off the board with John Rahm not there. I did pick Victor Hovland on Backspin the Golf Show, but I'm going to jump in with Matt Fitzpatrick. I'm actually going to go see him at a Troon event next week. So shout out to him. Scotty Scheffler still on the board. JT Spieth are still out there. Patrick Cantlay. He's the guy who lost to Scheffler in a playoff last year. All right, Gross.
You can have all those, Jackson.
Who
I'm
you got?
taking Hideki Matsuyama.
Oh,
there you go.
All right, plus 1,600 for you on that.
Is that better than plus 5,000?
That is significantly better. Way to go on the math right there. The best number on the board is the defending champ there, Jackson.
Yeah, I just don't see him going back to back.
The last guy to go back to back was Hideki Matsuyama. He did it a handful of years ago.
I was saying that, but we're on a
John
time line here.
Rahm's off the board. I got Rory.
I got to go with my guy.
Your guy.
I'm a big fan of him. Give me Justin Thomas. I wanted to go someone underrated like a Cantlay, maybe Sam Burns, but I got to go JT. He's unstoppable, reliable JT.
All right, there you go. JT's off the board. Now let's go to the monster spread in the state when it comes to college basketball. Oregon State at Arizona, minus 21 For the Wildcats, Jackson, what do you like in this one?
I'm going AZ minus 21. I think this is a statement game for the Wildcats. They show up big against the Beavs.
I'm going Oregon State, and I'll take those 21 points. Arizona gets bored. Arizona's clearly a better team, but they had their statement game Thursday night where they took care of the Ducks. So Arizona will win the game, but it'll be by less than 21.
That number scares the hell out of me. 21. I joked about it earlier. 3 touchdowns. I'm going to go with the over in this game because the total has gone over in 7 of Arizona's last 9 against the Beavs. Give me the over in this one. It's also Arizona's gone over in 4 of their last 6 games played in February. And guess what, guys? It's February. Oregon at Arizona State. The Sun Devils beat the hell out of the Ducks up at the mat in Eugene just a few weeks ago. Now Oregon comes to town. Guys, this game's a pick 'em. 140.5 is the number. Jackson, what do you like in Tempe?
I'm going to go Oregon. I think Oregon's a better team. I think they bounce back here. ASU, I just don't know. The Cambridge brothers is all ASU's got. Oregon's got a lot of talent. Give me Oregon.
I disagree. Statement game. Devils know their back's against the wall. Somebody even had Bobby Hurley sliding into a hot seat because of the way this team has played down the stretch. I don't buy that for a second, but I think they rally around their coach. I think they know what's at stake, and they can read the schedule as well as anybody else can win. You got a game at home that is a winnable game. Give me ASU.
Look, the Sun Devils, they win if they make the outside shots. They lose if they don't. I'm going to flip a coin and say they do. They're 9-3 at home. Give me the Sun Devils in this one. Go Devils. Also, go Devils. I'm a Devils.
Go Devils. Don't forget, 1 week from tomorrow, the 3 of us will be here at Casino Arizona in the showroom getting ready to watch the big game. Love to have you out here with us. Great chance to win some cash prizes. Great chance to sample the food and beverage specials they got going on. Great chance just to hang out. Love to see you out here with us and watch Bauer eat the what's it called?
The sweet Lucy Juicy.
Southwest Lucy Juicy. I can't wait.
The food special they got going on.
I'm going to house that thing.
That's going to do it for us here at the CAZ Sports Bar. They're here until the last game goes. Come on out, see them, get some wagers down. Love to have you out here. CAZ Sports Bar, Casino Arizona. We'll see you next Saturday right here on Fox Sports 910.